Why, I believe it means angel. Why, yes, I'm sure it does. I know you're going to like that name. Won't you, Peter?
Fury, now or never.
Dun, 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 dun. Finally, a superhero team I can actually get behind.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and start out with The Matrix. I already had that.
Oh, that's good.
But
okay.
Yes.
Nice appetizer.
Yeah, we'll get to the crazy stuff later. But we got some new Matrix news. Let's see.
Yeah, like you had said, it was at a Warner Brothers conference or convention or something of the sort, but they had premiered, from what I read, they had premiered a bunch of different stuff that Warner Brothers is about to be coming out with. So they showed a little bit of the new Batman movie, pretty much all stuff that we've seen before. But the biggest thing was obviously The Matrix.
And I love this webpage I brought up. I can't scroll down, so we get a giant ad for Deadline.
Francis Ford Coppola betting on StarCast for his epic megalopolis.
Yeah, so let's talk about that reboot of Godfather.
Oh,
now it scrolls down. I see.
Oh.
But yes, we got...
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
If it's actually happening. He keeps on talking about rebooting that movie.
Yeah.
I think when it first was announced, it was Johnny Depp, which
shocking.
I'm burned out on Johnny Depp still.
When was that announced?
Oh God, it might have been like.
Or
I don't know if it was that long
mid-90s.
ago, but it might have been like 5 years ago or something like that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, of course it would be Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, The Matrix.
So yeah, the new movie. We got Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss returning, which tells me that's almost certainly going to take place within The Matrix. And we'll talk about the trilogy, so that'll be obvious if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Spoiling the shit out of these 18-year-old movies now, which is
these
disturbing.
Yeah, these movies are old enough to mail in votes. So
yes.
Yeah.
We also, I think I brought up Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Neil Patrick Harris is in a new role.
There was another actor that was cast. It was a new addition to it. We talked about it.
Yeah, I think you brought up.
Yeah,
which was a familiar name, but I don't know what else he's been in. So make sure to comment.
Yeah, Yahya Abdul Mateen.
Oh, that's such a familiar name. Yeah, I see it right here. I do not know what I know that name from, but I know I've seen that name before.
Yeah.
In place of Laurence Fishburne, it's possible. I doubt he's playing Morpheus. It'll probably be a new character.
Yeah, or something to stand in for him. I doubt he's going to be playing. This is also what I had read from somebody who was there, about that actor. So his alleged was like, oh, well, that makes sense. I'll just kind of agree with this guy.
Well, I do think it's interesting that this is also the first project done completely by Lana Wachowski. She has worked almost exclusively with her sibling. We're not going to get into that stuff, but
okay. He was in the new Baywatch movie, The Get Down.
I don't know why.
He was also in Get Out.
Oh, maybe I know.
He was in the Aquaman, Watchman, Candyman.
Aquaman. Oh, was he Black Manta?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I believe that was him. He was also in the Trial of the Chicago Seven, the Netflix original movie about the 1968 Democratic National Convention and the protest that took place there.
Yes, that is one that
That's a
has been on
great
my watch list that I haven't seen.
Oh, that is really good. I strongly recommend that one.
But
If you're a fan of U.S. history, yeah. But
I think with Matrix 4, there's a lot to discuss. I kind of want to talk about the original Matrix movies first. Kind
yes.
of cement where we stand with this franchise. I'll go ahead and lay my cards out on the table first. I absolutely love the original movie. I think it's a classic. It's been parodied nonstop to make it in some ways tough to watch. But if you kind of go into it with as fresh a mind as possible, ignoring how 90s it is still really good. It's really awesome. I dig the first one. I'm 100% on board with it. The sequels are loaded with, I think, great ideas, but they don't come together in any meaningful way, I felt. Kind of, what's your overview of it, Bobby?
I really agree with you overall, especially with the original. I mean, there's no real denying the impact that film had on culture and society alone, and even filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had said, it's been parodied and copied to death at this point. It's kind of done so much that I kind of don't even recognize it when I see it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the sequels, I also felt like they had a lot to live up with. But I remember when those came out, looking at the first one, and I would kind of look back at it with a fresh set of eyes when I watched the first one, waiting in anticipation of the sequel to come out, and kind of realizing, like, this movie really isn't that great as everyone says. It's still an amazing story, science fiction, all of that. Just maybe we're overhyping it, and we're gonna overhype it for us. And the sequels came out, and again, they had a lot of great stuff that they tried to fit into one movie, not all of it really fitting with the flow of the story.
Yeah.
And I saw that problem continue with the second, or with the third one. Like, I think they could have cut out all the vampire crap.
What?
Because it made absolutely no sense. And I did rewatch the first one because I felt it was the only one really worth rewatching.
Mm-hmm. Well, I only rewatched the second two because I'd seen the first one a few months ago because I showed it to my daughter. It's
nice.
Like, I really like the first one's kind of great. It's kind of this mixture of two genres, of like the best of two genres, and it's martial arts movies and science fiction movies.
Yeah.
And
it is kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it does it in kind of a thoughtful way, kind of like, this is the world we live in, and you kind of have to think outside the box, kind of. And it does it as a sci-fi metaphor, of course,
Well, yeah.
And I really kind of dig it, and part of the reason it's been so parodied is because it kind of was so good, and it had such an impact. So now, when you make a Matrix reference, it's almost ubiquitous. Is that the word I'm looking for? You know what you're looking at.
Yeah, you catch it instantly.
I mean, I feel like part of the reason why leather coats have become so, like, 90s day now is because they were all over the fucking place in this one.
Well, there's a few other reasons why they became infamous from that particular decade.
But this movie, oh my god.
This movie did contribute to that notoriety.
I mean, Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity all walk around in those coats, so...
Long, black, leather
jackets,
trench coats.
Because if one's cool, three are better.
Badass. Honestly, that purple and green suit that Morpheus had throughout most of it, that shit was awesome.
Yeah, that is actually pretty sweet.
That suit's nice, I'm not gonna lie.
But
yeah, the sequels, yes. Again, they fit a lot in, or try to cram too much in at times. I think that with like the second one, I'm a little hazy on. But the third one, I remember there being. Well, I remember like Agent Smith survived their first encounter at the end of the first one, and he kind of just had the ability to clone himself. And I remember the giant like Million Smith fight versus Neo. But I think there was like some accident where they got called to another ship, I think. And there was like some accident and only two people came out of it. One of them being this guy that they had unplugged that Smith had possessed somehow, or he was acting like a computer virus, I think. Like I said, I'm a little hazy on it. I kind of remember.
Yeah, well, there's a reason for that. I forgot to get this properly set up. I got the fight in slow-mo. It goes on for a while.
Yeah,
but the second movie and the third movie, there's a lot to say about that. I actually have less to say about the first one because it's just kind of good, and it's 100% worth watching if you're one of like 3 people who haven't seen the Matrix yet. It's worth watching.
And if you just also learn to walk, you should see the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix. Like if you're getting into movies, Matrix is 100% worth your time.
Oh yes.
That being said, the second one and the third one, it's interesting. And in case you're wondering if I have this fight on loop, no. This fight goes on for fucking ever.
Yeah.
But the second one, it kind of boggles me how much it feels like a video game fetch quest. And it picks up kind of after the first one, where you have Neo and he's doing all this cool stuff and he's capable of fighting the agents. We have the return of Agent Smith. We're introduced to this idea of like corrupted programs within the Matrix that can kind of cheat it, which is what Agent Smith has become.
Yeah.
This is all interesting ideas that they don't really do anything with other than have like cool imagery occasionally. Like there's actually kind of like midway to late in the movie, we get introduced to the twins, and there are these two like ghost-like almost Rasta figures that can turn intangible and like go through stuff.
Yeah, weren't they 2 Swedish brothers?
I didn't look it up. It's 100% possible. But
yeah,
but they look so cool, and they actually look kind of like when they're in combat. Actually, look kind of scary, and then they're caught in a car explosion and die. And I didn't put a clip of it together, but there's you see how like Morpheus blows up the car they're in, and they see it coming, and rather than turn intangible, they just try to get out and get blown up. Congratulations on coming up with a cool idea for a villain and then just fucking killing him off without thinking about it.
And also when they would teleport, I remember like their hair would pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they looked like ghosts.
Yeah, like there's this scene where you see them like rise up through a floor that looks fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is... And I actually even remember the trailers for the movie implying that these were upgraded agents somehow, which, of course, they're not. But it's like, wow, these guys are awesome, and they don't do anything with them. It's like, they're an obstacle for, like, 2 minutes to Morpheus. Okay.
And this fight is still going on.
Yeah, no, this is going to go on for the rest of our discussion, by the way. This is... I think I did this at 75% time, so it's a little bit slowed down. That being said, I think it's good to demonstrate, like, if you look at the choreography for this fight, it's kind of amazing. And I also
it really is.
I love the duplicates of Agent Smith and how they do that. But we haven't gotten to the point yet, and we will, where he grabs the pole, and that's where the fight turns to shit. And it goes on for quite a while after that.
Yeah. Like, all of this is still amazing, and I imagine that, like, how they would have captured this is probably, well, let's just say that Hugo had a long day.
Yeah. Well, I imagine
he and Keanu had a long days that day.
Yeah, and lots of copy and pasting of Hugo's face in a computer.
Or probably a lot of stunt doubles wearing full-body Green Man suits.
I don't know if it looks too good for full-body Green Man suit. I'm thinking it's a face Green Man suit. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, maybe like the actual suit and just a mask.
Yeah, absolutely. That's possible too. And then seeing how many guys you can kind of get to look like Hugo.
Here we go.
Here we go. This is where the fight's going to turn to shit.
when I saw this, I thought, oh, cool, he's got that cement end. Yeah, he's going to fuck some shit up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, it's going to break off that one.
Well, what's going to happen here in a moment?
I mean, this is still awesome.
Yes.
I mean, he's Keanu fucking Reeves.
But in a moment, he's going to turn into a computer character.
Here
we go. Here we go.
Video game Neo.
Oh my god. And almost the entire rest of the fight is now just computer video game characters.
Yeah,
and it loses all coolness.
I believe this was a deleted scene from the Animatrix, or the video game, the one where you play as Niobe and the other, I forget. That game that was on the original Xbox.
No, the graphics in that were way better.
Really? Because the game was shit.
I haven't played that game in like forever, so maybe not. But here's the interesting idea. Like, I'm watching this movie, and as a general rule, when you're critiquing a movie, you don't want to rewrite it because you're supposed to judge the movie you have, not the movie that you are want it to be. But this movie is almost impossible to do that with. Because I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, this is an interesting idea. So we have all these corrupted programs, and the Matrix is going to have issues with all these corrupted programs. No, actually, it's just going to treat it like they're always there. Okay, well, what's creating all these corrupted programs? No, they're just there. And it kind of drives me nuts, because it's like, okay, what you could do is say, Neo, because Neo became the one, now, because he's out there rewriting agent code and stuff like that, deleting them, he's creating corrupted programs like Agent Smith, and this is creating an issue for the Matrix. And you could even take it a bit further and say, when he meets the architect says, yeah, this is actually something we've gone through thousands of times with different ones. Usually, you know, when it reaches a certain point of corruption, we reset the whole thing and kill all the humans that are free. And then we just start the whole thing over. It kind of gets similar to that in the end of the movie, but it's not quite there. There are ideas in this movie, and it drives me nuts how it doesn't reach them at all. And we're still on computer graphics stuff watching this. If you're listening, check out the video, because so much computer graphics in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm infuriated by these movies. And I also think at the same time, I am 100%. I'm going to go ahead and segue into the fourth one. Do you have anything you want to say about these sequels?
Well, yeah, like a lot of great things. And I remember once I tried to binge all of them, like back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And midway, or actually right after starting the third one, still just feeling like, okay, let me just remember what all the fuck is going on right now. Okay, I got this. Neo's still unconscious and he's going to be in the Matrix for a while or something. There's this Smith-like guy that's probably a threat outside of the Matrix as well. And you still got the machines out there too, as well as all the threats within. Just I felt that, again, like I had said, they just were trying to put too many eggs in one basket with each movie.
Yeah.
And I think by the third one, they realized we're piling over. Our cups runneth over. Like, we got to find a way to wrap all of this up and make it all wrap quickly.
Yeah.
Because I did feel like a lot of it just got resolved really quickly, and it's kind of, all right. So it was an EMP that really just saved y'all's asses.
Well, that's something that also kind of bugs me, because the machines are attacking and they're from a distance, they're shooting at it. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking, why don't they have, like, I understand supplies might be limited, but why don't they have like some EMP missiles where they shoot a missile and it does like a short range EMP at them? Why aren't they using those more? I understand maybe you have a limited amount, but you should be using them more. Instead, they're waiting.
And I was going to say, and maybe using what resources they do have to create more of them.
Yeah. Wouldn't you want as many bombs as possible that damage machines, but not you? That would be the biggest weapon in your arsenal, man. Instead, they're using regular bombs all over the place. They apparently don't have any EMPs in Zion, because they wait for a ship to show up, and the ship shows up, activates an EMP, and it's like, you need a ship for that? What the fuck?
Another thing that I now you with your recap of 2, you kind of made me remember something. Something that I felt was always implied with 2, but they never really got into with it at all, was like a class sort of structure, a class warfare sort of thing. With that guy who was dating Morpheus's ex, Trent or Jada Pinkett's character.
Oh yeah.
How he was on a high council, and you're just like a ship runner.
Yeah,
I felt like that was something that was kind of some subtext to it, but not really addressed.
Well, that's the thing. It's worth noting. The Zion stuff in these movies is easily the weakest stuff. And I'll give you a part of why it would be weaker, because you obviously the whole Matrix premise is set up on the idea we're in a computer program, let's do crazy stuff in the computer program. And when you go outside of that, it makes sense to me that you won't have as many ideas. That being said, you need to do something.
Yeah.
You know, something like, I feel like they watched Aliens and they really liked the suit that Ripley wore at the end. So they're like, okay, let's put guns on that, make like 100 of them, and have them fight other robots.
Oh, that lifter was fucking awesome.
The lifter is great, but...
And I mean, I can't think of the line, "Get away from her, you bitch," without that giant lifter.
But I feel like they don't have any other ideas for Zion. Hey, let's have a big party scene where Neo and Trinity fuck, and that's about it. We aren't really going to explore anything else besides that.
There's a drum circle. There's a drum circle.
Oh, yes, that's very important.
And apparently glow sticks, I think.
Yeah, these are movies chock full of ideas, and they aren't there.
Yeah.
Oh, are you ready for
Do you want to talk about the Animatrix at all?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen that. I actually remember liking some of that. A fair bit.
Not the same. I remember bits and pieces of it.
There was a computer animated one. I think they might have shown it before a movie. I don't remember what the movie was.
I want to say the second one.
No, it was before even the Matrix movies. It was probably some Warner Brothers movie.
Oh.
It might have been like Dreamcatcher or something like that. But I remember my big drive to see that movie was just to see the animated Matrix short beforehand. And it was, I believe it was by the same team that did that first Final Fantasy movie.
But Dreamcatcher is such a great Stephen King adaptation.
Oh yeah. Jason Lee dies on the shitter.
SSDD.
So good. Moving on from Dreamcatcher.
Another day. Another day.
The computer animated Matrix short that leads into, I'm pretty sure it's Reloaded, 99% sure. That's actually really good. I don't know if it's online. It probably is online somewhere. I know I watch these movies on HBO Max, so it might be on there. That thing is really good.
I just watched my old DVD copy.
Ooh.
I won with the cardboard opening.
Oh, I hate those.
Yeah,
I always hate getting those on DVD too. Just like, these cardboard ones suck.
Just look so just bad.
Yes, they look cheap.
It's just so cheap. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, the Matrix.
Are you ready?
Well, do you want to talk a little speculation on 4?
That's what I was about ready to talk about. Number 4.
Okay.
We got
because I have a theory.
Ooh, you have a theory. Well, let's hear your theory because I
have a theory, and it's an older one. I feel that this will be a kind of a reboot rehash, like slash retcon.
God, I hope not.
Well,
potentially retcon might be okay.
I have a feeling it might just do like an opening, like it was all a dream, and eventually, well, here's the thing. But Neo will have these memories, like still he's back as Thomas Anderson. He's doing that. He'll pass Trinity on the street. They'll kind of look at each other like, they'll start talking and realize they have some shared dreams, and that's when they'll probably be approached by Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character, and he'll present them with the pills.
Yeah.
That's it. It's also
I'm
one
not
of
gonna
Reynolds'
lie. If they take that route, I want them to handle that beginning exactly like a rom-com.
You mean kind of like how a movie can start off as one thing and then just kind of change?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They can't play the whole thing as rom-com, but if they go that route, I want them to play that beginning, all chipper music and shit, as a rom-com. The only difference being the green hue, which actually I saw a video a while ago talking about how that green hue was kind of added in the DVD, which is not something I ever realized. I think when I first watched it was on DVD. So,
what, The Matrix?
Yes.
First time I watched it was on VHS.
Okay.
I think I think my copy's still at my parents'.
I don't think I ever owned it on VHS. I definitely had the DVD though, because that was one of those back in the day when DVD was coming out. That was one of those you get this one with your DVD player.
Yeah, and you also want to get it with this surround sound system.
Yes.
With these tiny little speakers that do Dolby 5.1.
Yeah, my 5.1 system doesn't work anymore. It's a little sad.
My first one was great, watching the Nightmare on Elm Street series on, having speakers all over my bedroom.
But, okay. Yes, we were talking about the fourth one. Yes, and you were talking about being a reboot. So
but I also have a feeling that it might do what the kind of trend is becoming now. The direct sequel from the original.
I wonder, because you could potentially do something like that.
And if they do it that way, it could work. But if they do it following 3...
No, I was actually thinking they could do both. Because you would put them... spoiler, 18-year-old spoiler, Neo and Trinity are dead, and they're the only 2 confirmed returning actors for this fourth one.
So could it be like, the literal Matrix 2.0?
No, I'm thinking they could base it almost exclusively in the Matrix. Which is an interesting idea. That is definitely where they have the most ideas. Okay.
With that, though, but while Neo was still powerful enough to go within the Matrix while he was unconscious, who's to say that he wouldn't have the power if he is the one to control himself, as well as creating a surrounding of his own Matrix, like create his own. So he's living in a world with Trinity.
Maybe he set up, his own Matrix within the Matrix.
So it's like their own kind of eternity.
Ooh. Yeah, and that could... You could take that in the reboot thing where, like, he's done it, but then he doesn't even remember that he's done it. He just set up this world for himself in Trinity.
Yeah. And maybe it's one where they encounter each other every day or something, or I don't know.
That actually has potential there.
Yeah.
We're living our past.
We put it to you, Hollywood.
Yeah, there is potential here.
There is.
I want to say, while...
There's also, on the other hand...
There's pitfalls, too, yes. I want to say this about the Wachowskis. I am pretty much 100% on board with whatever they want to do. What they do is not always good. Look at Jupiter Ascending. I will defend Cloud Atlas. Cloud Atlas is actually pretty good if you repeat watch it, which is a huge task because that's like a 3-hour movie, but it's pretty fucking good. There's also some racial issues with that, but if you look past it, it's actually pretty good. But it's a commitment movie too. I'll give it that. That being said, even something like Jupiter Ascending, which is just off the wall insane and really fucking bad, I'm still kind of interested in anything they do, and if I have any say, Hollywood will give these two all the money they need to make any movie they want, because I want to see it.
Hollywood will hand over like dump trucks of money to the Wachowskis. Like,
And
yeah,
they've actually had quite a few bombs, so I'm kind of surprised they're still able to get budgets for their movies. That being said, I am happy they are.
They made The Matrix.
Yes.
That's like Godfather status. It's like fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I want.
It is extreme bragging rights, if nothing else.
That's like that puts them on like, in my opinion, that puts them on the Coppola tier. Or even the Kubrick tier.
Yeah, well, I mean, they made something that has definitely had an influence in film.
As much as of either one of their films, as much of either Kubrick
Almost
or
certainly,
Coppola's
yes.
films. Yeah,
yes.
Definitely Scorsese and Spielberg.
Yeah. And while their track record may not be as strong as a lot of the people you just named,
yeah,
I'm always like even Speed Racer. It's been a long time since I saw Speed Racer. I don't recall liking it. It was colorful and fucking creative. I'll give them that one.
I remember the colorfulness is what turned it off for me.
Yeah, it was intense. But
That's what turned it off for me. It wasn't like it was too much or anything like that. It was just kind of, this is really taking like my focus away from the film. Like, this is just, okay, I get it.
I remember it being a swing and a miss, but I am all for letting filmmakers take swings.
But I also remember it being better than Herbie Fully Loaded.
Well, fuck yeah. That movie's not even a swing. That's just a corporate
the car wasn't the only thing fully loaded in that movie.
I haven't seen it, but I assume that's the Lindsay Lohan one, right?
Yes, it was. I mean, it could be a Bruce Campbell because he's in that one too.
Hang on.
Could be a Bruce Campbell joke too.
How have I not seen it? Bruce Campbell. I need to watch everything with Bruce Campbell. It's effective.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I've seen Herbie Fully Loaded, admittedly.
Any final thoughts on The Matrix?
I'm waiting for a teaser.
Yes, I am. We will definitely have something to talk about when that comes out.
Because if I'm anywhere near relative right, I will be terrified and intrigued to see where it goes.
I agree. I think there is potential with what you brought up. I think.
Now, I mean,
there's also
it could be that way.
Yeah,
like they could still depict stuff similar. But how they tell the narrative, that's really, we won't be able to see that until we see the movie.
Yeah, well, what you brought up is something where I could see that really working well. I can also see that going completely fucking off the rails.
I mean, what I did describe is like kind of a / theory and also like a alleged report of what somebody saw, was relayed, sort of telephoned. And I kind of go, all right, if it's the two of them passing, and that's as much as I read, and I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of decided I should go from there. So I can't decide. I think the dream is too weak, but I think I want to go with Neo creating his own sub-eternity matrix.
Could be
That's
cool.
what I want to. I hope it's not. I hope they don't go a fucking dream route.
No, they can't go all in. No. Oh.
Or if or if he just decides to willingly start taking the blue pill.
Oh, look, Patrick Duffy's been added to the cast list. He'll be in the shower at the end.
It is a fucking dream. God damn it.
Okay.
You take your step-by-step having ass the fuck out of here.
God damn it. All right. Are we
That's
ready?
A dated joke. That's a dated joke.
I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job. I'm miles away from that right now, so any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.